I debated with myself for quite a while about whether I should make this vlog or not. But in the end, I think I have something really important to share with the world. And that is that this t-shirt that I'm wearing has special coronavirus fighting properties. If you've followed this vlog at all, or maybe if you've done any of the Long White Cloud Qigong courses, you'll know that I take a very practical, non-mystical approach to Qigong and to most things in life. So you may have been surprised to hear me say that this t-shirt has special coronavirus fighting characteristics. Don't worry, it's not magical. I am going to explain exactly how it has those coronavirus fighting characteristics, but I'm going to leave that to the end of the vlog. It's not going to be a long one, so you won't have to wait too long. But first, let me share some irony with you. So of course I have only just very recently left New Zealand, and before I did that, of course, I talked to people about it, and a lot of the people who I talked to about that I was leaving and where I was going, this was after the coronavirus outbreak had started. And so it was interesting, even just a few days ago, people saying, oh, be careful out there, you know, with all this stuff going on. And then the day before I left New Zealand had its first confirmed case of coronavirus. And I am going, at least for the next couple of months, to places that have no confirmed cases of coronavirus. Irony, huh? So the coronavirus is quite concerning, and of course I think it's very important to take sensible precautions. But at the same time, I think it's very worthwhile considering for yourself whether your view on things and maybe even some of the actions you take are based on reality or maybe based on some kind of bias. Because for a lot of us, we're often biased to think, you know, to favor the places we know, the people we know, and think, oh, that'll be safer. You know, here I am. You know, people in New Zealand were worried about me going to some of these places where it might be dangerous, where it actually turns out there's less coronavirus here than there is in New Zealand. So I was joking with people, fleeing to safety. You know, I'm just a day late because I arrived a day after the first case there. So I think it's very well worth becoming well informed about what's going on with the coronavirus, looking at the numbers, looking at the stats, looking at the science behind it, so you know what's really happening and what is really something sensible for you to do. Now, officials have tried to get people away from calling it coronavirus. They're wanting us to call it COVID-19, and I can understand why they would want to do that. I can understand why certain brewers would want them to do that as well. But, you know, part of this is it's actually to focus more on specifically what it is, because the coronavirus, or coronaviruses, they're actually very common. Half of common colds are coronaviruses. So we can take another perspective on this. You know how the flu goes around every year and there's a flu season, and sometimes it's worse than others. This is a particularly bad cold. Much worse than others, but that's what it is. It's a cold virus. And it's just a bit nastier than the ones that have gone around before. So with that perspective, I think it helps us to understand what other actions we as individuals should take. Now, of course, some countries, they may have some restrictions on travel and things like that to try and stop the spread. But at this stage, it looks like most countries, or you know, many countries all around the world now have cases there. So that restriction on travel doesn't seem to be a complete solution, and in the end, most of us, you know, stopping ourselves from doing things is actually going to cause us more harm than the potential risk that there is, the real potential risk of exposure to the virus and its likely effects on us, because almost everyone will recover from this virus. The statistics have it running at about 2% mortality rate, maybe a little bit higher, But if you dig deeper into those statistics, a lot of those are those who are elderly or otherwise have weakened systems, weakened immune systems and so on, and this is what causes it to be a bad thing for them. For people in more younger age brackets, things like that, it's running at more like 0.2%. Now that's terrible. Anyone dying, that's a major thing, but the risks are maybe a lot lower than might appear from a surface understanding of those statistics. You need to look a little bit deeper, because each of us in life, we have only so much time, and stopping our life and stopping from getting on and about things will definitely affect us, whereas, you know, some very low chance of exposure to a virus, probably not going to have that much of an effect. Now, of course, stopping the spread is important, but I think there's a balance to be found there in terms of how that you let that affect your life as well. So what really starts to matter though is some of the basic things that we should be doing all of the time, particularly in relationship, again, just to the common cold or the common flu. Good hygiene practices, washing your hands, good nutrition, building up your own strength and immunity. This is one of the absolute best things that you can do. Again, the mortality rate, the ones where it has been high, has been in those who already have some illness or otherwise weakened system. If you build your system up and make it strong, even if you were to be exposed to the virus, you'd have much less chance of any negative effect from it. So this is the bit where I get onto the coronavirus properties of this t-shirt that I'm wearing. And this is where it comes down to mindset. Those other things, washing your hands, that's important, very practical thing, your nutrition, practicing Qigong, of course, that's going to be fantastic for building your immune system. These are all things that you can do to keep yourself strong. But something else that's really big is our own mindset. Our mindset has a huge effect on our hormone profiles in our body, the strength of our immune system, and so on. When we have a positive and confident mindset, we are much stronger. We are able to deal with things much better. And this t-shirt that I'm wearing with the symbol for Qi on it, it helps me, even if it's only unconsciously, to constantly be reminded of my own inner energy and keeping that strong. That in itself, it's a small thing. Of course, I'm being a little bit silly about this, but that in itself can help to strengthen me, strengthen my immune system, and make it less likely that I'll have any harm from coronavirus, or less likely that I'll get infected in the first place. It also doesn't hurt that of all the t-shirts I think I've ever owned, this t-shirt gets me the most unsolicited compliments from strangers. It happens on a semi-regular basis. Someone will come up to me and say, "Hey, I really like your t-shirt. What does that mean?" Which is fantastic, you know, and that little positive boost, again, boosts me up inside, boosts my energy, and that's going to help me to stay safe as well. So that's really my takeaway message from this, is to do all the sensible precautions. If there are quarantines, observe those quarantines. If there are some where you happen to be, hand washing, eating good food, keeping up your Qigong practice. You know, I did think about maybe making a special video with some Qigong for immunity or something like that. But the reality is, yes, there are some things that may focus on immunity a bit more than others, but any Qigong practice is going to be helpful to you. So rather than worrying about that, it's best to just carry on with the Qigong that you're doing. Really enjoy it. Feel its benefits, its positive benefits. Do things also, other things that are going to help you to stay positive and confident, and realize that if you do this, your body has its own ability to fight off viruses. This is just another virus. It's a bit nastier than some of the others, but that's what it is. It's a particularly bad cold. And if you build yourself and keep yourself strong, you're going to have the best chances you have to come through with no harm at all. Okay, so that's my grand coronavirus announcement. One thing that it may affect, I hope it doesn't, is our training coming up in Thailand, which is in May. So There have been a few cases in Thailand, but there have been a few cases all over the world. My hope is that some of the different travel restrictions and things that are currently in place may have settled down by May. We're going to have to wait and see. Of course, if there are good reasons why we can't hold it, then unfortunately we will have to cancel. But at this stage, I'm still hopeful that things will have settled down and it is able to go ahead. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the vlog, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.